Let me tell you something real today. People will count you out when you're still building. They'll ignore your presence, mock your dreams, and downplay your worth. They'll treat you like you're invisible, like you ain't got no shot, just because you don't look like success yet. But I'm here to tell you, that's temporary. That version of you they overlooked, that's not your final form. See, what they don't understand is that every moment they underestimated you was fuel. Every door they shut, every time they laughed behind your back, every time they said you weren't good enough, they were giving you the very thing you needed to rise higher. When people overlook you, dismiss you, or treat you like you don't matter, it can cut deep. It's like standing in a room full of people and still feeling invisible. You give your best, you show up with good intentions, but they barely notice. And when they do, it's often to criticize or doubt you. But let me tell you something, being overlooked is not the end of your story. It's the beginning. It's the part of the movie where the underdog is written off, only for the world to later watch in awe as they rise. See, rejection and mistreatment are not always about you. Most of the time, it's about how small their vision is. They can't see what God put inside of you. They're judging you based on your current situation, not on your destiny. But destiny ain't something you can see on the outside. It's something that burns on the inside. You might not have the resources right now. You might not have the platform. You might not even have the support. But if you've got faith, grit, and vision, baby, you've got enough. I want you to understand that being underestimated is a gift in disguise. When folks count you out, it gives you the freedom to build without pressure, to fail without headlines, to grow without judgment. They ain't watching, so you got the perfect opportunity to sharpen your skills in silence. Some of the greatest champions in life were born out of being counted out. They didn't cry about not being picked. They created their own lane. They didn't waste energy begging to be accepted. They used that rejection as motivation to become undeniable. Now I know it's painful. I know it's frustrating when the people closest to you don't believe in you. When your effort is ignored, your talent is questioned, and your heart is broken by the very ones you hoped would cheer you on. But don't let that stop you. Let it shape you. Let it mold you. Let it push you. You were never meant to stay small to make other people comfortable. You were never meant to dim your light so others wouldn't feel insecure. You were meant to shine, even if it blinds a few people along the way. One day they're gonna look back and realize they missed something special. That the very person they ignored, doubted, or mistreated became the very person everyone else celebrated. And it's not about revenge. It's not about rubbing success in their faces. It's about understanding that your worth was never dependent on their recognition. You were valuable the entire time. They just weren't equipped to see it. So keep building in the shadows. Keep showing up. Keep working when no one claps. Keep dreaming even when they laugh. Because every step forward is proof that their opinions never defined your outcome. And when you finally arrive, when your name is being spoken in rooms you've never stepped foot in, when the same people who overlooked you are forced to acknowledge your greatness, you'll realize that being overlooked was never rejection. It was redirection. It was preparation. It was the beginning of your rise. Don't let their ignorance bury your potential. Let it awaken your fire. You're not here to stay hidden. You're here to break through. And when you do, the same people who mistreated you will be the first to regret it. But by then, you'll be too busy walking in your purpose to even look back. Keep going. You're closer than you think. They laughed at your dreams because they couldn't see what you see. They mocked your ambition because it scared them. That's what people do when they don't understand your calling. They try to shrink it down to their level of comfort. They try to make you feel foolish for believing in something bigger than what they can comprehend. But here's the truth. Their laughter isn't a sign you're wrong. It's a sign you're different. And being different is your superpower. People don't laugh at things that make sense to them. They laugh at things that challenge their own limitations. When you tell them you want to build a business, they'll ask why you think you're special. When you say you want to become a speaker, a writer, a creator, they'll question your credentials. And if you dare say you want to break a generational curse or escape the cycle of poverty, oh, they'll laugh hard then. But that laughter, that's fuel. That's proof that you stepped outside the ordinary. You've entered territory of the extraordinary. Let them laugh. Let them doubt. Because while they're busy mocking, you're busy moving. While they're whispering behind your back, you're building the very thing they said you couldn't. You see, God didn't place your vision in their heart. He placed it in yours. That means they don't need to understand it. They don't need to approve it. And they sure don't need to believe in it for it to come true. Your belief is enough. Understand this. Every champion, every icon, every trailblazer, they were all laughed at once. Steve Harvey slept in his car and was told he'd never make it. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. The Wright brothers were laughed at for believing man could fly. So if they laughed at you, congratulations. You're in good company. The people who laugh today might be the same people applauding you tomorrow. That's how it works. Once the results show up, the respect follows, but don't wait for them to stop laughing to start moving. Use the laughter as a soundtrack to your hustle. Let it echo while you're putting in the work. Let it ring in your ears while you're grinding at 2 a.m. Let it drive you until your success becomes so loud it drowns out their doubts. One day you'll walk into a room and the same people who called you crazy will call you inspirational. They'll repost your quotes, share your videos, and say, I always knew they had something. But you'll know the truth. They laugh. And that laughter was the push you needed. So don't take their laughter personally. Take it as confirmation that you're not dreaming small. You're dreaming bold. You're dreaming brave. And that kind of dreaming makes average people uncomfortable. But you weren't born to be average. You were born to rise. Let them laugh now. They won't be laughing when you win. They left you out, didn't they? They didn't choose you. They didn't support you. They made you feel like you didn't belong, like you weren't good enough, smart enough, strong enough. That's the part that stings the most. Not just the rejection, but the silence, the absence of encouragement, the way they turned their back when you needed a push forward. But let me tell you something that'll change your life. The people who overlooked you were never meant to oversee your destiny. You think you needed their validation, but God was protecting you. Sometimes rejection is not a punishment. It's a redirection. You didn't lose their support. You were spared their control. Because had they believed in you, you would have depended on them. You would have looked to them for approval every step of the way. And that's dangerous, because when someone has the power to validate you, they also have the power to limit you. Let them go. Let them doubt you. Let them keep their distance. You don't need a cheering section to be chosen. You don't need their applause to keep moving forward. The silence around you might feel like abandonment, but it's actually space. Space for you to grow into the person you were always meant to be. Nobody successful ever made it with a perfect crowd behind them. Most people make it in spite of the crowd, not because of it. Now hear me. The very people who ignored you will circle back. Not because they changed, but because you did. The moment you start glowing with success, they'll remember your name. When you win, they'll act like they always saw it in you. But you'll remember the truth. You'll remember how they didn't clap for your small wins, how they weren't there during your late nights, how they didn't check on you when you were quiet and broken and barely holding on. And that memory, that's not to hold bitterness, that's to hold wisdom. Because when you win, don't waste your energy trying to prove anything to them. Just keep growing. Just keep rising. Let your elevation be the explanation. Don't go back to seek validation. Move forward and become undeniable. Sometimes the greatest revenge is success served with grace. Not arrogance, not bitterness, but peace. The kind of peace that says, I made it without you. The kind of peace that doesn't need to post about who didn't support you. Because your life is already speaking loud enough. So yes, they'll regret how they treated you. Not because you sought revenge, but because you stayed silent and let your work speak. That's the best kind of comeback. Not to get even, but to get ahead. Not to match their energy, but to master yours. Let them remember you for who you became, not for who they refused to see in you. Because you've always been chosen, you just needed time to realize you never needed them to confirm it. Keep rising. Keep shining. They'll see you at the top. You ever notice how the folks who doubted you the most suddenly start paying attention when your life begins to shift? When the grind starts showing fruit, when the sacrifices start stacking into wins, all of a sudden, those same people who ignored you, laughed at your dreams, or even disrespected your journey. Now they want to know how you did it. But let me be real with you. The change didn't happen out there. It happened in you. See, what people don't understand is that success is born in silence. It's built in the dark. It's formed in seasons when nobody's clapping, nobody's checking in, and nobody's offering you shortcuts. You had to develop grit when it felt like you were being buried. But you weren't buried, you were being planted. And that seed, your vision, your calling, your resilience, it grew roots while they were watching something else. When you start to rise, when you start to win, those same folks are gonna look at you like you popped up overnight. But they didn't see the nights you cried alone. They didn't see the prayers you whispered with shaky hands. They didn't see the times you doubted yourself but still moved forward anyway. You didn't become successful to prove them wrong. You became successful because you finally believed you were right. And here's the part they don't get. You changed because the pain changed you. The rejection, the silence, the lack of support. It all shaped a version of you that's tougher, wiser, more focused. You ain't looking for applause no more. You've learned how to clap for yourself. You ain't waiting for permission. You're walking in your purpose. Now let me tell you this, when they come back, and trust me they will, don't lose your peace trying to make a point. You don't need to post a highlight reel to show them what they missed. You are the evidence. Your peace, your progress, your power, that's the proof. Let them see it. Let them sit with the fact that while they were sleeping on you, you were working on you. Don't be bitter. Be better. Don't act small just to make them comfortable around your greatness. Let your shine be so bold, so undeniable, they can't help but recognize it.